I'm here tonight to talk a little bit about the TD Visualized Trader. Now, I want to apologize about something, and that is that we are not trading live today. I wanted to do that, but unfortunately there's two barriers to trading live. We don't have enough time to sit through the cycles and record that video. You people would get very bored watching nothing going on. And number two, the market is very unpredictable as to whether we'd have anything to record at all. However, we're going to do something that I will refer to as backtesting. But there's a caveat in what I say, because not all backtesting is the same. You hear a lot of people talk about backtesting, and it's a very subjective kind of thing. I mean, after all, they have the future before them. Surely they can predict great trades. Well, I'm kind of stymied in that regard because we're relying on the TD Visualized Trader, and I can't change the signals that it created many days ago, and those signals are there today just as they were then, and we follow them today just like we would have followed them then. So really, backtesting is highly viable when you're using the TD Visualized Trader. Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I have a couple of stocks to look at, and you're going to say, gee, that looks pretty good. Well, I really have them to look at because part of the program is a scan that allows you to find trades that are ripe for the picking. So let's take a look at what's going on here. I only have two symbols because it is close of the day. Really, early morning trading is far superior to this, and I can show you that by going back on some of the other symbols. For instance, this 9 o'clock symbol wasn't particularly good because it didn't match up in a longer chart. Frankly, this is not a stock that I would trade. It's just way too volatile and too choppy, and I would avoid this like the plague. On the other hand, this one looks pretty good. Let's first off do what I recommend everybody do, and that's to look backwards. Let's look and see what it has been doing, what has been going on. Well, it took a big retrace, and it started up, made a big move back, a step back one more time, and then it looks like it could be in the run for another pretty good little run. But I wouldn't say more than one or two waves, because I don't see any real waves of any form in the previous life of this thing, and I really believe in looking at history to see what we might be looking at. But we have some pluses here, and we have a minus, and I'll explain to you. The plus is if we've broken all the highs. We're right up there. I mean, there may be a high further back, and there is, as you can see it here. And we'll put, well, that's a time period. We don't want that one in there. I'm going to put a little marker in here so that we'll know what this target might be for us. Okay, there it is. And as you can see, it's not even on the screen, it's off the screen. That's how far away our target could be. But we still have these cycles running, and we need to be conscious of that, so that we don't step in with an expectation of a trade that's not going to perform that way. Now, I know nothing about this stock. It does tell me here that Chambers Street Properties is a net lease real estate investment trust, so we know that. We can also see it's been pretty doggone flat, so I wouldn't expect a whole lot of performance out of this. But we're talking about about signals now, and what would be considered good signals to enter a trade on. Well, if you look at this, come on, pointer, work. If you look at this morning about 11 o'clock, we had a trade signal right here, and anytime you have a trade signal, you'll know that all of these were green across the top. And this is a trend. PC is a little price action kind of things, price change actually from whether it's up or down from the previous bar, or actually if it's up or down in this bar. The stochastic, the mom, the dad, you know all about that if you're familiar with the top dog trading methodology. Understand this is not a new trading methodology. The TD Visualize Trader simply makes it easier to do it, and it makes it foolproof. Okay, if you look here, this is a day candle. This is a day chart, 2-hour chart, and 40-minute chart. You can trade shorter charts if you wish. I have grown accustomed to trading the longer charts. When I first started trading, I was a day trader, almost a scalper. I did not have as good a success as I do swing trading, and so that's where the money is for me, and that's why I do it that way. I will warn you, however, you must be a much more patient person to trade the longer term charts. But we have the answer to that, and I will go over that a little bit later. You'll notice that this candle and the other candle over here both have a signal on them, whereas the candle before did not have a signal. Does that mean you could not take this trade? Well, it depends on what you would have had up here. If it was simply like something like Dad hadn't made the turn yet, yeah, you might, because it's got a good strong move over here. Frankly, I don't. I find that the reassurance of having a signal is going to give me a higher percentage trade. Now, it is set to trade. We even have a signal on our short chart. That just adds more to the probability it will be a successful trade. Now, had I seen this trade this morning, I might have taken it. Unfortunately, I was doing something else, and I missed it. I did get in a couple of trades today, but this wasn't one of them. And you can generally figure out that you'll get in about halfway through the body of the bar. That's pretty average as to when the signal actually forms. During the process of these signals forming, you'll see them click on and off sometimes if it's right on the cusp of it forming, because you know price bounces up and down a little bit. It might just be on the very edge of popping Dad over, and it just clicks back and forth, or whatever signal it's needing to turn on. So if we got here at 8 1/4, it's up to right now 8.35. We've made a dime on the trade. It's not a lot of money, but it's only an $8 stock, so frankly that's all there is to this. We just made the trade. We've summed it up just to what we want to do. We looked to see that there were support and resistance areas that we came through. We also traded on a high volume bar. This volume indicator is a custom volume indicator. Incidentally, when you purchase the TD Visualize Trader, it comes with the package. It comes to you at no additional charge, and it's highly recommended that you trade on the green bar. The green bar does not mean up and down. It means whether the volume is larger than it was on the previous bar. In other words, the volume of the short bar is less than the one that had virtually no volume, and progressively each one of these had larger volume, and then the volume tapered off, which is not uncommon at the end of the day. The little line down below is the average volume, and I really like to see it above the average. Now, why am I so concerned about volume? Because, my friends, volume is the fuel that creates the energies. Without the volume, you don't have the gas in your automobile. It's the same thing. It's a fuel. It's what fuels the trades. It's what fuels price action, and I really count on volume before I make a trade. Okay, let's talk a little bit about where these two signals came from. Also included with the package is a scan program. I'll find out which one I have in here. I've got quite a few. Here's the one we want right here. We're waiting for results, but we'll get the same results as we have over here on the side, because this is the same scan program. You can see that there. Now, I just did this to show you how this scan was set up. I set it up to 1.5 million shares. I don't like to trade anything. It's not trading at least 1.5 million shares. And I want a signal on 2 different charts. I want it on a day chart and a 2-hour chart. Question: can I change these times? Yes, you can. You certainly can. Well, I'm going to show you that you may not want to, even though you're going to trade much shorter charts. So let's go back to this day chart, or the chart over here, and let me just do this. Let me just change the times on them. Let me put how are we going to work this? I'll do 2-hour. The way this is going to work, forgot how to go, how I set it up. 2 hours, 40 minutes, and I think the closest I'm going to be able to come here is about 10 minutes. Primarily because you can't divide 40 up in such a way that is available here without doing a custom time. Now, I could do a custom time. I could put 12 minutes in there, which comes out 36, but I'm not going to do it. This is close enough for my purposes here. Okay, I just want to show you this. Understand, we're still scanning off the day, 2-hour, 40-minute chart, and now we have a 2-hour, 20-minute, 40-minute, 10-minute chart. 40-minute, 120. That's right. I'm sorry, I had a little brain fog there. You'll notice at 9:40 this morning, actually before that we had a signal here at 9 o'clock, but we didn't have one on the longer chart yet, and it didn't roll over until right here, which would have been about 8:25, is exactly what we said before, that we would gotten into the trade. And yet we're trading off a totally different chart. Isn't that interesting? Signals in all 3 charts, even though the chart times are different. Now, it took me a long time to realize why that was occurring. It's if I have the energies that propel these candles to create a signal on the long chart, then that same energy carries over to the short chart. However, energies on a short chart will not necessarily be reflected on the long chart. Now, what I've done, I'm going to add a watch list on here, and this is a good exercise so you can see how to put your scans in a watch list. And I created one called what was it called? The video, the bull video. We're going to see if it forms anything, and I'll show you what this scan is composed of. Load the scan, personal, bull video, and it shows you here it's a 1-hour, 20-minute chart. Okay, I think I have 2-hour, 40-minute, whatever. I could have done a 3-hour, 1-hour, 20-minute over here, and I will do that for you. Let's do a 3-hour, 1 hour, and 20 minutes. Don't even have a signal here. Isn't that terrible? We're missing a trade. Oh dear, we might have a signal. It might be just because the end of the day it rolled off. But you'll notice down here we don't have anything in our scan. It didn't pick up anything in a scan. Let's scan it right now. This is 1 hour, 20-minute chart. No matching symbols. So what is the profit of scanning shorter charts? None whatsoever. You can trade the shorter charts if you wish, but don't scan them. Use the day 2 hour 40-minute chart. It works much better on the scans anyway. Pull that out of here. Alright, now that takes care of that. One of the reasons I developed this scan, it wasn't possible to find these signals until I developed the TD Visualize Trader. And then I was able to use the TD Visualize Trader as something to key off of as to when we needed to include it in the scan. Well, that resulted in something else as well. It also resulted in a ability to put alerts. And you can create what's called open chart alerts, and you put whatever symbols you want in there and whatever time period you want on the charts. I don't even know what's on here now. It's a 10-minute chart, but let's say you want it, and if that's what you're looking for, fine, but I'm going to put a longer time period on there because I think it's too short. I'm going to put a short chart of 20 minutes. Now, what this will do for you is, assuming our studies are applied, that is, make sure, there it is, and it is applied. Okay. What this will do for you is it will allow you to get alerts, and what will happen is you'll get a bell or whatever you set it sound that you want, and a little message will pop up here in the message box telling you that you have that alert. There's also, using the standard function in TOS to create alerts. You can create alerts here as well. Had an old study in there, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. Like, you just go to the condition wizard and you say I want to add a condition, and you go up here and says I want the study to go in there. You click on this top and drag your button down. You're going to find user defined studies, and lo and behold, there it is, TD Visualize Trader version 2B. So you put that in there, and then you say I'm looking for a bullish play, say. So we want the long entry is true, and you save it, and you're good to go. You just say create the alert for this symbol up here of CSG. So we create the alert, and it goes in there, and you see here we got an alert because it has a signal, and it sends it to my cell phone. It just went off. Just got a text message in my cell that I got a signal. So if I was at the grocery store and this thing hit, I could come dashing back to go ahead and enter my trade. Now I'm going to show you how some of these settings are. I know I'm moving pretty quickly, but we've got a lot of things to cover here in just a little bit of time. We're going to just put our cursor on any arrow or on the moving average here. I'm going to right click, and it says edit TD Visualize Trader. You click on that, and you come up, and here's a settings bar up here. This asks you if you want to. I would not change these settings. They all match the Top Dog trading settings. We're going to leave them that way. You can play with them if you like, but do so at your own peril. Don't be emailing me for support. Ask me why you're losing money. You can hide the moving average if you wish. There are people who wish to plot their own averages, which keeps you from having two on the screen. I would recommend you keep the moving average on there, and I'll show you why. Of some moving average, whether it's this one or another one. We'll skip all the rest of this because it's all standard Top Dog settings. Down here it says activate alerts, and you can say yes, and that'll activate the alert. And you say what kind of sound you want. You pick no sound, and just get a message, or you can get a ding, a chimes, a ring bell, or whatever. And down below that is 3 settings that you have for changing what's up at the top of the screen. This one, if you put on that, it puts the copyright information up top, and if you click the other one as well as a yes, and then you just have all kinds of information up there. This is the number of days left before subscription needs to be renewed, and this is an internal number that we have for our own proprietary use. I don't know that you'll ever be asked for that number, but if you ever are, that's where you find it. You notice that the subscription is for a year, but it says $383. we always give you more than a year, mainly because we're a little lazy and we don't want to change. Uh, we don't want to change the key code every day. So we just start out by giving you an extra 30 days right up front. This particular study will expire at the end of January in 2016. So it's take advantage of our lethargy. Okay, I'm going to turn these back off again. Now, if I turned them all off, then I wouldn't have any trade labels up top. And that's fine. You can do it that way if you want. I kind of like my trade labels. So I'm going to put them back up there. And if you decide you just want to trade with the trade labels and you don't want the arrows all over your screen, you could do this. And then you have no more arrows, but you still have the trade labels. So whatever's comfortable for you, go for it. Because it doesn't change the way the program works, it just changes what you're looking at. And that's it in a short version. We can always cover more features and what have you, or cover these features in more detail in later webinars and videos. You just kind of let Dr. Burns know, and if there's a lot of you that need to hear more from us, we'd be glad to put on a webinar for you, or create another video like this that you could pull and watch at your leisure. But that's all I have for you today. I just wish you happy trading, and just relax. Just relax. This will take care of you. It's all there. No more stress. Take care now. Good day.